Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, Billy Ho here. We are headed to Mexico for the 2023 Mexico Open. Welcome to the channel. 5 things before we get started. Number one, most importantly, hit that subscribe button, smash that like. Number three, check out the Discord. Number four, check out the article. That'll be in the description. It's coming together nicely. I'll show it to you here in a second. And number five, the contest. So whenever Monday comes around and they start throwing that DraftKings pricing in, and you see how weak this field is, you think, well, I'll just hop on in the Billy Ho contest. More than welcome. So I appreciate you joining me for the second year of the Mexico Open at Vidanta Vallarta. And I think I might have got a decent accent on that one. My Spanish speaking pals down out west can help me out there. But last year's winner was John Rahm, he did just enough. I think he had about maybe a B minus game. He really didn't play all that well, but he went 17 under and he won, I believe, by a stroke over a couple other guys, Finau, Kitayama, and whatnot. We're going to get into the track in here in just a second. But what we're going to do now is get it started. All right. Apologize for the misinformation there. I thought I had something I wanted to say, but I changed my mind. So we're going to jump right into the course. I believe it's a Nicholas design course, and might be some input from some other folks there. But you'll see because they're big greens, they're undulating. Hint, hint, Augusta. Hint, hint, Memorial, kind of like that. But it's all paspalum grass here. It's a long track. It's par 71, 7,456 yards. The fairways are hugely wide open, and the greens are big. And it's like I said, past Pelham. They do typically run a bit fast and firm, subtle breaks and undulations that require some precise putting and some good lag putting and things of that nature. But it is like most resort courses, it's full of scoring opportunities. We got 4 par 5s and 5 par 3s. And there is also a drivable par 4. So that's basically like five birdieable holes, I guess you could say. There might not all be easy because some of those par 5s are kind of long. So you can get home in two if you're a bomber. So that's going to be the word of the day is long off the tee, obviously. With the such that it brings in a lot of other golfers because a bunch of these DP guys are like super long off the tee, but they're inaccurate. They're awful, sub 50% for Euro guys off the tee. And I think a lot of it has to do with the terrain over there, where they could just almost spray it everywhere and still have a look. Maybe that's just a wrong opinion. I don't know, but that's just kind of the hint I get. Like I said, John Rahm won last year. Tony Finau was up there. One player that did surprise me was Kurt Kitayama is not in the field this week. He came in a close second last year. This seems like the perfect fit for him. So we're going to get into the course. And this is hole number one. I just wanted to show you this one because there is water. It's a resort. It's in Mexico. So the next shot up, you can see you have to drive over this water, and then it's just a little flip wedge. Uh, a 117, 115 yard, depending on how much water you want to take on. I don't think people are going to try to drive it. It is a pretty well 300 carry, right around in the range that this second shot is showing up at. So, like I said, it is distance off the tee and it's solid approach. It's going to be like a relatively complete approach game. Like you'll have some little wedge, gap wedges like this one here, and then you'll have other holes. Like I'd say, let's see what number 6 has to offer. Pardon me just a second. Number 6. Let's go. And here we have another one off the tee here. And this is a 613 yard par five. So this could be a potential layup hole, depending on which way the wind's blowing. The early weather is there's not really anything. And then it's kind of like that roller coaster, like the wind is consistent at each time of the day, like right around noon to 2 p.m. or whatever, early afternoon. It gets a little breezy, but it's real calm in the morning and real calm in the evening, that kind of thing. So, you see the long shot here, and if you do lay up, and then you got your green in front of you. Number 7 is the drivable par four. Let's take a quick look at that one, and it is about 300 yards, I believe. So it's basically straightforward. You just you want to your bailout is to the right where your bunker's at, and you got plenty of green to work with. And then you got plenty of room out front to run something up. So I mean, longer players can probably get there with 3 wood. And that, like I said, it'll probably depend on the wind. If the wind's in your face, they're going to need the big dog most definitely. But you can see how these greens are kind of a lot of kidney shaped, a lot of different curvature to the greens. So we're definitely going to emphasize a little bit of putting. And if you want to look up past Palin putting, that's kind of an all right thing to do too. Let's see, hole number 8. I wanted to look at par four, 496 yards, and you can see the channel on your right. So there is water to be guarded against. So anybody that's having trouble with their right misses are going to have a hard time. And then you see here, it's about this is one that's probably pushing 185 to 195 on approach. So you're going to need those you're going to need some 7 and some 8, 7, 8, 6 iron action, depending on how long you are, some 5 irons if you need to lay up off the tee and whatnot. So that's always cool. Hole number 12 was another one I was interested in. This is the other 620 yard par 5. You got to watch out for this bunker in the middle of the fairway, but it should be pretty clearable. And then bunkers to the right side down there. And here's your layup shot. You're still going to have 100 yards out if you lay up easily. So that's going to be a tough hole to birdie, but I think it's these guys can get her done. Hole number 14 is the other par 5. That's 577. 3 par 5s on the back side, by the way, and then you have the drivable par 4 and the par 5 next to each other on the front 9. And there are some short birdie holes, but mostly attack on these par 5s. Let's see. The other one was 18 is a 5, I do believe. So we'll finish it off with 18, and that's a pretty short-ish par 5, 541 yards. I wanted to see what the second shot looked like. So if you're out in the fairway, you got desert to the left and desert bailout sort of to the right. So if you do go, then it looks like you do have a pretty good chance to find one of these bunkers. And then that's what guys like to do on these par 5s. They want a bailout area. They don't want something running off the back, and put them in a bad spot. I mean, hitting out of the bunker, as long as they get a good lie, is easier a lot of times than hitting off of a wonky downhill lie or something over there on the fringe. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. So players that live to eat on par 5s and also that make the least mistakes. Here's the beginning of the article. So obviously John Rahm accepting the trophy. And the weather, I haven't posted any weather, but my early look says everything looks great. Mid 80s, mid to upper 80s, light breeze, 10 to 12. No rain in sight. So you ought to probably get some decent run out on the fairways. But you're gonna need birdie or better all day. DraftKings scoring all day. Ops gained 10 to 15 feet. Putting from 20, that bonus putting on Rick Run Good's model, that bonus putting is is like the 5 foot and the 25 foot range or something like that. That's always good to have. Approach putting is on there. So if you wanted to do just kind of like a putting model, you could run with that, like just pure distance off the tee, then pure putting. And like we'll get down to look at some players here in a minute that I got a small list, first look list of player pools. Obviously, Rahm and Finau are going to go 1-2. Wyndham Clark is coming in at third. And this is really not a set in stone. This is just kind of how the order hit me. But Wyndham Clark has been one of the best fantasy scoring golfers, and he is long off the tee, and he's played much better on the approach game, and he is an excellent, excellent putter. He really, really is a good course fit here. So I don't see how he won't be super popular. Pricing, I have no idea on. Wyndham Clark's probably going to be 5 digits, I would guesstimate. Rahm 11,000, probably 11.2. Finau 10.8. Clark 10.5. And then maybe there's some guys down there. I don't. Riley might clock in at 10K. I don't know, but he's another guy that's does everything well. A good approach game from all angles. So I kind of like him. Aaron Ryan might not be long off the tee, but he had a good result here last year, so I don't see why he can't do it again. Playing great golf here recently. He's really starting to come into his own as a player on the PGA Tour, regularly making cuts, regularly, cracking top 20s, top 10s and whatnot. So pretty good. And if you wonder what the ARG is, it doesn't mean they're from like Argentina. Obviously, Gary Woodland is not from Argentina. It's around the green. I just noticed on these two guys, and I didn't really add anything in. Taylor Pendrith is one struggling off the tee lately, but he's super long. He fits that Wyndham Clark mode, long off the tee, good putter, so he can dial it in when he needs to. Hogard is just really looks like a good up and coming player. Ben On is a monster off the tee. So Will Gordon as well. Griot's played it well here, and he's kind of the Latino angle. SH Kim is another one, just a steady player. That's why he's last. He's not really a guy that I think might do a whole lot of scoring, but it's possible. Down here, some also rans. Alex Smalley, Patrick Rogers playing better golf. Ches Reavie sighting everybody. He was so bad for so long, but he's actually been pretty decent lately. He had a pretty good result last year here. So he's just a putting woes guy. Garrett Kigo is a DFS scoring machine. I love to play him in these type of events to where he can just grip it and rip it and dial in and try to go pin seeking. So he's a dude that can rack up some points. The other Woo, Dylan, I got Brandon Wu up here. Dylan Wu is the lighter version of Brandon, but they've both been really, really good form lately. And finally, my gut play is Matty Schmid, because that dude is, if you look at total driving, we'll go over here. Brandon Matthews is in this tournament, but he is just seems like he's just in a long drive competition. He's good at the team event, but I don't know. The rest of his skill set kind of scares me, but Matty Schmid's a little bit more under control. But you got Matty Schmid, Cam Champs in this tournament. I don't know if you can trust Cam Champ, because he is, we all know he can be in terrible form and then pop, but he's just been in terrible form, and he's just worse form than his normal terrible form. So I don't know what to do with him, but he had got a good finish here last year, and he can absolutely kill it off the tee, and the putter can get hot. But that's one thing that we haven't seen in a long time. But obviously, here's some familiar names. You got Champ. Vegas is, I believe, still fighting that shoulder. We haven't seen him in a long time. But Wyndham Clark's in the tournament. Gary Woodland's in the tournament. Rahm, Benny On, low key. I got this in order of distance. So if you just want to see what kind of accuracy rank, this is total driving. You can look over. You see how good Jon Rahm is to be this high, to be in the top 10 in distance, and then inside the top 80 in accuracy is incredible. We've all seen how compact his swing is. No wonder. But like Dean Burmeister, I don't believe I saw his name in this tournament. So, but Kyle Westmoreland, I do believe, is in the tournament. But you can see how wild he is. So we can be a little bit more forgivable as far as accuracy goes with these wide fairways. So that's why Matty Schmidt strikes me. I mean, 137 is not god awful, but he is a guy that can absolutely just crush the ball off the tee. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for as an angle. First off, is that ability to really rip it out there, and then maybe do some deep diving into some buckets as far as approach game goes, and especially those putting buckets. So, one last look at the article. Just check it out whenever you can. And we'll just call it a day there. It's going to be a fun tournament. It's not a great tournament. You'll hear everybody. And this one thing I hate is when people badmouth fields. I don't like that. This field sucks. This field is shit. This is the worst field of all time. You're still playing, ain't you, dumbass? It irritates the piss out of me. It actually gives other guys a chance to go deep diving and find guys like Matty Schmid and find 2% and 5% owned guys that might play well this week. Last year's Kurt Kitayama, who I believe I had in my lineups, but now he's a star. He's even too good to play in this tournament. I digress. Appreciate you listening to my mini rant at the end. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We'll see you soon.